How we doing, everybody? We got another episode of Future Motocross Radio coming to you. Got some fine folks with us in the room, as always, here in the Legends Room in Central Florida. Co-host for today, Mr. Tyler Kasha.
How you doing?
How we doing, sir?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Another fine day, another episode to knock out. And then we've got Mr. Dave Dukey. He's been here before one time, so we brought him back again to have him with us today. And then we've got the young guns. We've got some boys, future MX boys, helped out in different ways. We got Mr. Drew Adams, the 300. How we doing, Drew?
Not too bad. Excited to be on the show.
Thank you, bud. Appreciate you coming out. And then we've got a new number. I can't even really call it the 731 anymore, but we haven't exposed it yet to the general public. Mr. Ayden Shive.
Yes, sir.
Glad to be back. Have you here again. Got some big changes going on for you, after Minios. The last episode that you were on was before Minios, so we've got a lot that we get to talk about there of things that are changing for you and stuff happening moving forward. But, appreciate having all you guys here. I want to do a huge thanks to Mr. Matt Bell and HBI Racing with HBI Tax. We talk about him on almost every episode that we've done so far, and I can't thank him enough for being a part of our program. And anybody looking for any tax services, we know that, we're coming close here to the first of the year, so those W-2s or 1099s are coming out here soon. So if you need to get your taxes straight, make sure you visit hbitax.com. He can get you all sorted out. And then the other one for today is going to be No Toil. We had a great relationship with No Toil for many, many years. They've helped Ayden for a long time in the Future MX team and for multiple years. Ryan Jensen and the boys out in Northern California with No Toil. Can't thank them enough for being a part of our program. We've got a little commercial that we're going to put there in the middle of the episode today that you guys can see and get a little idea about No Toil, but they make it super easy. Mr. Dukey, I know you use the No Toil filters on the daily over there with Cole Bradford and Ayden Shive out there at the Dog Pound, and man, they make it convenient.
Yes, they do. It's rather easy, actually. Yeah.
Dave, how many years did you dump gasoline in places you shouldn't be with old air filter oil washing out?
About 40. Still do it today.
Thank goodness for No Toil,
No Toil.
Saving the planet.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
No, they do, man. They had the great concept of ditching the gasoline and ditching the solvents and going with environmentally safe, environmentally friendly products. So anybody that's looking for, some air filters for their bike or air filter cleaner, air filter oil, they have biodegradable chain lube. They've got the Superflow air filter kit that we use in Ayden bike right now that you can remove the screen out of it, and it basically gives you a better throttle response, a little bit more horsepower out of the bike. So they have products for over 4,000 different machines on their website. So check them out at notoil.com. But always grateful to have No Toil with us. And again, HBI Tax, HBI Racing. We got our new graphics kit in from Step Up MX, and Dukey and I have been working on putting some of those on the bikes here and get those dialed in where we can do a little bit of a photo shoot. We got a release coming up soon. We got brand new numbers here for Mr. Ayden Shive with his pro number, and then we have Cole Bradford switching numbers as well. We had Cole in the last episode, but we didn't divulge the information just yet. So we're going to kind of do the same thing with Ayden here and just make everybody wait a little bit until we do the photo shoot.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to tell. Number one in our hearts, but mystery number on the bike.
Mystery number is coming. But we know the Drew's the 300. Now, Drew, when you were on the little bikes and even at Minios, you had the 33 on there. Was that by choice, or was that just the number that was available?
No, that was kind of always the number I ran at Loretta's, and I'd ran it last year in 2021 at Loretta's, and I had a pretty good year. I won both titles, so I figured I'd come back and run it this year. I really like it.
Wait a second. I thought you couldn't run a 3-digit number at Loretta's.
No, 33.
33.
Oh.
He's the number 300
Okay.
on your local tracks and any race outside of Loretta's, right?
Yeah.
So at Loretta's, you go with the 3-3.
Yeah, either 3-3 or if that's taken, 30.
Yeah. Any significance there?
Not really.
So did I tell you the story about Ayden and I were going through the pro sign-up process? And when you go through, you have to select your number. And they make you pick 3 different numbers, because of what's available and what's not. Well, one of the main reasons why Ayden's number is changing in the pro class is because 731 was already taken.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know who has it, but somebody has it. It wasn't available. So then I started thinking, okay, well, what would our other numbers be? And I texted Ayden, and he was like, what about 300? Just to mess with Drew. Just to mess with Drew. And I looked, and 300 is actually taken. I don't know who has that one either. So we tried that one, and then what was the other? I don't even remember the other number we tried, but all 3 numbers that we submitted were taken.
Yeah, I tried to get a double digit, but
You're not allowed to
wouldn't
get
let
a
me.
double digit.
911.
Yeah.
Don't you have to? What do you have to do to get a double digit again?
Double digit is for anybody that earned points in the previous season. So the top 100 numbers, 1 through 99, are the double digit numbers are only for people that scored points in the previous season, and it's based on how many points they scored of what number they get. So unless you have a career number, but like 94, Ken Roxon, obviously that's a career number. So you can apply for career numbers after you've scored points. But in this scenario, we tried to go online and get the 731, and it wasn't available. So then we tried the 300 just to mess with Drew, and it wasn't available. So we ended up getting one, but we're not going to divulge it just yet. It'll be coming soon.
Yeah, it'll be out soon this week.
It should be out this week. We got graphics being done as we speak. Duke and I have been working on them today, yesterday. We did a couple different sets. So we're gonna have some plastics ready and
They keep changing.
Well, that's the unfortunate thing. We talked about it on the last episode. As much as I want things to be done overnight and things in my world happen extremely fast, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is who we're going to commit with and go with. We had the graphics printed and they've been here. I mean, Step Up did a great job, but we're still finalizing some contracts with two sponsors that, I'm waiting until we get a commitment or something in writing. But the problem is they've already printed the kits. So if the kits are done and we end up going a different route, then those logos have to change. So we're working through all that. It's part of the game. We'll get there. Just more graphics that Duke and I have to swap out and put on.
Yeah. You probably already pretty good at it, but
No, I'm not.
no?
Yeah.
No.
Any secrets for the best result possible?
Yeah, I could tell you the secret.
Have somebody else do
Have
it.
somebody else put them on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he put a set on yesterday, and he basically walked out of the shop, and he's like, "You might as well go ahead and order another set." Those were his exact words. That's pretty much exactly how it went.
I've done KTM's for quite a while, so I got kind of used to doing them. Now I'm doing a different brand, and it's different shapes, and it's different. It is. Some people just bam, not me, because it's got to be perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect, and I struggle with that. Same way with seat covers. Struggle.
Not easy.
No.
Yeah. So we just wrapped up for you two. You guys haven't been on the show since. So for Minios, give me a week recap of Minios, Drew.
Honestly, it was a all right, decent week. I would say that I started out better on motocross than I did Supercross, and yeah, I just kind of had a rough start on Supercross. I was making a lot of mistakes. I had a few first turn crashes, but we ended. Dude, I don't even know what my finishes were. I think I got a second in one, and then I got docked. I got docked in one of my classes for jumping on a yellow flag on the first lap. But yeah, we started off very good on outdoors, and I just felt solid. And yeah, we ended up with the title in outdoors.
Yeah, I saw that. Now talk about that red flag. We had a couple of the officials come to the semi. Wanted to have a little conversation with you and your mom and your dad.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so pretty much there's the 250B limited moto. I was battling with these two kids the whole moto, and some kid crashed on the very first lap, and I think he was knocked out the whole moto. So it was a red cross that whole section for the whole moto, and the two kids in front of me had jumped it on the second lap, I believe, and then I guess that apparently I jumped something too that I didn't remember, so I got docked for that too. But yeah, I think I didn't like that kid was down the whole moto. They probably should have red flagged that moto. It would have been a lot easier.
Man, can you imagine all that money, all that time, all that effort, and then your race is basically a whole section is eliminated from competition on the entire every lap.
Yeah,
for the whole moto.
every lap we're rolling that whole section.
Yeah.
It's pointless.
So I agree with you. Maybe they should have red flagged that thing. How'd the rest go?
It was pretty good. I say I rode pretty solid all week. I just had a few mistakes, but yeah, it was a good one, and we're gonna come back strong next year.
What's the next one? Were you gonna do what is it, Freestone?
Yeah, the spring nationals, but I've actually been riding Supercross with Ayden a lot lately, and we're gonna try and maybe do some of the Supercross futures.
Oh yeah, I think I seen a video of you hitting the whoop section.
Oh yeah.
How you feeling about the whoops? You know, obviously a strictly Supercross related obstacle. A lot of people struggle with them. Maybe a little bit. Maybe the guy next to you struggles. I don't know.
Hey, actually, on the bottom track, I actually had a little bad crash the first day because I was feeling a little too excited. But no, I got back up. It was good. Actually, I'm actually feeling a lot better through the whoops now.
Yeah.
So, actually, it's weird because the bottom track, the whoops are a lot smaller and a lot more tamer, and I can't hit them as good. But on the big track, they're a lot bigger,
get some
and a lot
rockers?
scarier, and I hit them. Like basically Jet Lawrence.
You gotta meet the challenge.
No,
So that's what.
Don't believe a single word of what
No,
he
okay,
just
but
said.
listen, on the big track is very beefy, right?
Okay.
402, it made that track beefy, but it's a fun track. I mean, it's a little scary, but glad to say I hit the big triple first. I hit all the rhythms before Drew, so I hit the whoops a lot safer and faster than Drew. Drew went around him
What?
the whole time.
I'm gonna jump in here and talk about. I was there on day one. We had some of the boys come out for the first day of riding Supercross, and Ayden gets about 5 whoops in and goes over the bars.
Well, you missed one.
Yeah,
Something like
front
that.
front
Yeah.
wheel missed number 5 or number 6, and he goes over the bars on day one. Duke and I are just looking at each other like he's out here trying to win Supercross practice on the first day, like he's trying to impress somebody, and I'm like, I got to bring everybody in and have a little powwow real quick. I'm like, listen, nobody's losing a ride today, okay? Nobody's here to impress anybody.
You're not gonna go home.
Nobody's trying to win
Be sent
practice.
home.
We were impressed.
Well, the thing is, I never actually like learned whoops my whole time on mini bikes and stuff. I just always went around them, and then hell, my first day riding Supercross, Jet came out there with me and taught me how to hit the tinier whoops, and then like it didn't take me long to just adapt to them quick. And it's not. I feel like whoops are not that hard as everybody says they are. Like I would honestly say that they're a little bit easier than some sections on Supercross track.
Well, the thing about whoops is they develop differently, right?
Yeah.
They can be built differently. They can be built different sizes. For somebody like obviously a young kid who is dipping their toe into Supercross, like what's the game plan? What does mom and dad say about, you're delving into Supercross this early? Is it just to sort of, become acclimated to it, or are you trying to start riding Supercross as soon as possible, as much as possible?
Yeah, pretty much what you just said. I'm just trying to get the laps in. I've been on motocross my whole life, so that's pretty much imprinted in me. I can learn a motocross.
Yeah,
track
but your
like
whole
that.
life is you're 14.
Yeah, I was
No,
going to say,
but
let's
still.
take a step back here.
Still.
For the people that don't know Drew Adams, the number 300 Team Green Kawasaki, born March of 2008. Is that right?
Yes.
So 14 years old out there on a 250 when technically you could still be in the super mini class, right?
I could still be in the 85 class.
Yeah. He could be out there riding mini senior 1.
I could be racing Carson.
Yeah, and he's out there on a 250 and 250B. And just to wrap up what you were talking about there at Minios, in the Supercross, it was a 6, 6 and a third because of getting docked in that one moto. And then in outdoors, 250B a fourth, and then 450B first. So you got your title there in 450B.
Yeah.
So you've got this 14-year-old out there winning the B class right now, gets a title at Minios, and then says, hey, let's throw a leg over here on the Supercross track. But I will say, and I give credit where credit is due. I'll knock it when it needs to be knocked, but I'll give credit where credit is due. And I will say I was very impressed with your technique, with your head forward, well out over the bars. Your body positioning through the whoops was impressive. I mean, especially for being 14. So I'll give credit
Thank
where
you.
credit's due.
Yeah,
He hits the big whoops good,
Yeah.
that's the thing though. Like
real well.
me racing Drew, and like even though sometimes when he gets lucky, like when I get a bad start and he ends up
There it is. There it is.
That's the thing. Listen, he might be 14 years old, but he is the fastest. I'm not trying to hype him up, but he is the fastest 14-year-old in the world, in my opinion. And a lot of people out there can say the same thing. But if I'm gonna get beat by a 14-year-old, I'd rather it be the fastest 14-year-old on the earth. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that makes sense. So, but as right now, I am better than him at ping pong.
No, you're
And
not.
hitting the whoops right now.
You take the
I'll
wins where you
second
can
that.
get them. Yeah.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
I'll second.
Ayden
You're
gets-
probably the fastest 14-year-old.
Aiden gets so mad at ping pong every morning. He gets there 2 to 3 hours earlier than everybody else gets there just so we can play ping pong.
Warm up.
Yeah, he's hitting it off the wall
Yeah.
in the background, training.
Yeah, okay.
Stretching. Yeah.
When
Does
I
a cardio session down in the gym just so he can go play ping pong.
When I beat Aiden at ping pong, he'll get so mad he slams the paddle on the table and breaks the paddle.
That's why it has a broken handle.
Yes.
No, but let's jump back to Supercross. We'll talk about this later, all right? Oh, but learning Supercross is actually pretty fun. You know, I've been riding outdoor my whole life, and then recently after Minios, we've been riding some Supercross, and it's fun. You know, with Drew, Bradford, and all the boys at the 83 compound,
Yeah.
The dog
the
pound.
dog pound.
Dog pound.
It's fun, you know. Just the boys out there just learning new stuff, and
I seen a video of you going 3-3 in a rhythm section. Tell me, stepping through how that came to be when you're going to try it for the first time. Are you jumping next to it? Are you jumping further out?
so whenever I watch Jet and Hunter, whenever they're about to hit a big rhythm that they've never hit before, Jet will launch out to the side and flat land.
Yeah.
But I won't do that. I
Okay.
don't feel comfortable flat landing like that. But
All right.
for some reason, I watch them hit it first, and I just like scan them, and I watch them do it, and I'm basically just read them and go back and just hit it, and usually it works out.
Full send.
So that's
first
what I
time.
did. That's what I did all after Minios. I took a week off, and so
Played
the whole
some ping
week
pong.
I was just like itching to ride, and like I was watching Chance, Jet, Hunter, everyone there, and I'm just watching them and learning. And that's why I think that's the reason why I crashed in the whoops, because I was watching Chance and Jet
Yeah.
blitz the whoops. I'm like, oh man, I want to hit him like that. And I got a little bit too excited and just went over the bars. But
What
No.
gear you hit whoops in nowadays?
4th gear.
Fourth gear whoops? Okay.
Oh yeah, sometimes 3rd, but 4th.
On the big track too, on the top track?
Yeah, I hit the big set in 4th, and I hit the small set in 3rd. Just hit the triple after.
Yeah.
I think the thing about me and Aiden training together is that we always try to one up each other.
Sure.
Like that's how it is. Because I will admit he did jump everything on the big track before I did, but we're like talking about that triple. He has to stretch it every time, and the first time that I jumped it, I overjumped it.
Really?
Like landed right in the flat.
Wow.
Well, that's just because of the weight difference. You know what I mean?
Well, and the fact that he's on a PC bike and
Yeah,
you're on
I
a
mean,
boom stock
he's-
one right now.
He's probably 89 pounds, soaking wet, and I'm 155 built muscle, so it's a little different.
Shredded.
So, like I wouldn't have hit it. I was like, dude, all right.
Shredded out of my mind.
Just pure muscle.
Wow.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna hit this double. I'm gonna hit
Negative
this-
3 on the body fat.
Yeah.
Drew, are you a jumper to the left side, or are you just like Aiden? Are you full sender?
I mean, I don't. If the jump is really in my head, I'll jump to the left, like jump
To the
off
side.
the track. But like Aiden said, we can just go out there and watch Jet and Hunter and Chance, and we can just look at where they get on the gas and their speed, and just go jump the jumpies. That's how it works pretty much. We read what they do.
I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a transition, though. I mean, Duke, you were out there at the very beginning. I mean, they've only technically had 2 weeks on the Supercross track. And I
Scared to
mean,
death that first day I was. I was. So I stood way up on the hill.
Well, I mean, it's just we come like a lot better. We're not there yet fully, but confidence wise, like I was talking with Bradford, and he was like, dude, I just feel a lot more since the first week till now. I feel a lot more better, which I do too, and we all do. I mean, it's just having that seat time on that bike and on that track, and it's a lot different than outdoor.
You know, you guys have been very impressive for being for Supercross for 2 weeks.
yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, you got to imagine. I mean, people have done this for years, and you guys are jumping in. Which I mean, you got a little bit of a taste of it last year with the Supercross Futures. You were talking about whoops earlier. Imagine,
Oh, yeah.
Imagine Drew hitting the Salt Lake City whoops.
Oh, Drew end up in the stands. But I know one time.
God hit him better than you.
Yeah, right.
Good.
Yeah, in press day. I hit him in press day actually pretty good, and I was like, yes.
I thought you skipped the whoops on press day.
Oh, not press day.
Qualifying.
Qualifying. Actually.
Okay, that makes more sense.
But actually, on press day, you
Press
know
day is
how-
when he cased the triple.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
even whenever you skip the whoops, right? So everyone's hauling down, and you get a look because there's an official right there to make sure you're slowing down. So there's a piece of like big
Wood.
old plywood on the ground,
Yeah.
and it's filled with like dirt, like sand, and I'm hauling butt, and then so the official there was no one coming, so he told me I can go. There's like a rut at the end. My front tire slide on
The plywood.
on the plywood, and just dude, it was like the weirdest crash in my life. I'm like,
Oh, you actually crashed?
yeah, I crashed like it just
Going around the whoops.
Yeah, going around the whoops, I crashed.
Yeah. Here's our star future MX rider on the ground on the plywood.
Oh, that's because a rider in front of me was literally right in front of me, and he almost fell. So my reaction was like, "Oh, I had to hit the brake," and the next thing you know, he didn't fall, I fell, and just like hit my head on the bars and like did the 360. I was like, "What the heck?"
Welcome to Salt Lake City. Hey guys, it's RJ Huss, team owner and manager of Future MX, here to tell you about my friends, No Toil Industries. No Toil was founded in 1998 in Northern California with a great concept of ditching the solvents, ditching the gasoline, and creating a safer system for your machine and the environment. No Toil has a ton of great products out there like pre-oiled air filters that are ready to ship straight to your door. They've got the Evolution air filter oil, they have biodegradable air filter cleaner, they have biodegradable chain lube, and they have the Superflow air filter kit, which removes the screen and increases your throttle response and your horsepower in your bike. We use them all the time, from anything from our pre-modern bikes of a 1998 CR125 all the way up to our 2023 KX450s and 250s that we will be racing this year in the East Coast Supercross class. They have products for multiple different bikes, almost 4,000 different machines available on their website at notoil.com. So make sure the next time you're shopping for an air filter, you think No Toil.
Hey, Drew, I saw a video the other day where you were at the Stewart compound. I guess you got to go there because of the Freestone title.
Yeah. Yes. That's.
Tell me about that. Tell me what that was like.
Well, I've been there. I want to say 5 times now, I think. And well, the first 3 years I went, actually, I hated it. It was no fun for me because on mini bikes, it's not fun at all. The jumps are massive. You can't jump them. But last year and this year, it's been fun because I'm actually on a faster bike and I can do all the jumps. And this year, I just went and threw some whips, had some fun.
Yeah, that little whippertail video you had there had some views.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which one?
I reckon I could have went bigger on the 450, but
I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah, he always trying to one up everything. Can't
Oh, yeah.
can't just give
That's how
credit
it
where
is.
credit's due
I
and
do.
say, hey man, you did a good job. No, I'm better.
You know what? I think I could have sent that a little more sideways.
Yeah. If I was on a 450 or a 600 or a 9,000.
well, it's just because Drew been at the compound for about a good 6-7 months, and ever since then he's just he's like my little brother now, but like more like a little sister. So like I kind of just beat him up, and he's like a voice in my head. Just
This is all day,
he calls me
every day at the compound.
literally like 7 o'clock in the morning, like 6:50 sometimes.
No.
Hey, you coming to the compound? Where are you? I'm like, bro, it's 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, he's already had 2 workouts in.
Yeah,
He played
right.
ping
Over
pong.
there.
He's waiting on you.
Ready for me to like ping pong is the best.
Ping pong is the best warm-up hobby. Anything other than dirt bikes that you can do. Ping pong is like we bought the
Working
ping
on the
pong-
hand-eye
we bought
coordination.
The ping pong table at a thrift store, by the way.
Nice.
Terrible looking. We sanded it, painted it.
Who's we?
All of us.
Me and Jet.
No, I did. I
And
did it.
you were just-
I sanded it. I didn't paint it because Jet didn't let me.
So where's it at now?
It's in Tate's far
It's
shop.
in the shop
back.
all the way across the compound.
Oh, it's out there in the field?
Yeah, we can only play in the daytime.
I mean, yesterday, me, Jet, Ethan Lane, not Chance, Drew, and Philip, we played ping pong for like 5 hours straight, just nonstop.
Yeah, really putting in the effort.
Literally,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's the funnest thing.
Absolutely. Could have been on a bicycle ride or something, but yeah, let's play ping pong.
Yeah. Hey, so you're kind of known, Drew, for the ability to, I guess, do some pretty good whips and things like that. Tell me where you learned that. Where'd you pick that up?
Style for days.
I didn't. Well, like
Not better than Ayden, but good.
definitely
Yeah,
better.
know your limits, bro.
Definitely better than Aiden. But no, I never really like. I kind of just started one day, like just threw a whip sideways one time, and then from there on, I just after practice every day I whip for like 30 minutes, and then once I got on big bikes, it's just kind of like in my brain now, and I just know how to throw a whip.
Is it easier on the big bike?
Yeah, yeah, because like it might be harder to throw the weight out, but like once you get out, you can just rev it, and the bike will come straight back.
Yeah, the gyro effect will bring it back to you.
Yeah, just the power.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do that.
Yeah, I mean, on the 250, I can throw all right whip, but on the 450 for some reason, I can just it's easier for some
Upside
reason.
down.
Like it's just for some reason I don't even try. It just like I'm not trying to be cocky, but it's just so for some reason.
It's just part of riding a 450. You're on the big bike,
Yeah, it's
you
like
know.
some reason with the power and how it handles it.
Yeah, like when you threw that whip in the bottom of the gator pit,
Oh,
straight
yeah,
into the
went in the
trees.
woods.
Trees.
Straight into the trees.
When you threw that whip into the pond at the dog
Oh
pond.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ayden, highlight of Minios for you the entire week. When you think about Minios and you think about that week, that was a ton of racing. Anything that stands out, any segment, any laps, anything like that stand out?
I got a good start from the outside. I was pretty pumped about that.
That outside
It
start.
was. I don't remember what race, 250A or 250 Pro Sport, but I pulled gate 30th, 28th, something around there. So like I was far outside on the Supercross track, and then I was like, dude, I have to get the start, or else I'm gonna be, or else it's gonna
Looking
start
slow
to
on the
finish.
video, number one, and number two, you don't want to have a bad start.
Yeah, and then I was like, all right, but for that start, I was pumped up. Like I was telling Dukey, I was ready to go. Like, and the next thing you know, the gate dropped, and I was gone. So yeah, I mean, I had some good finishes there, so I was pretty proud about that. So
I mean, there had to be a few of them throughout the week, though. I mean, like battling with Deegan up there in the Supercross track and going back and forth, with him, and even some of those, interviews after the fact were pretty funny. Of Deegan talking about
yeah,
almost getting cleaned out, and you were like, "No, man, I got you, I got you."
yeah, no, everyone was pretty upset to a point about that pass.
Like who? Who was upset?
Well, everyone just watching the live stream and just a
Oh.
lot of people were, but it's different in person. But Deegan-
He would do it to you in a minute.
he was upset, but I watched him. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could have really
You could have
I could have taken
taken him out.
if I could have took him out, but I would have crashed too. So, but I was just there to just to scare him a little bit. But
We got to get.
no, it was a good time.
We
You know,
gotta
I
get that
respect him as a rider, but no, it was a fun time the whole week.
You rode really well.
And then having the semi there, that had
Yeah.
to be a good one.
Having the semi there was fun.
I mean,
dude.
Drew having the Uncrustables, that had to be a highlight.
Yeah,
I
those
mean,
are good.
what were the requests for that week? We had the peanut butter and jelly, specifically grape Uncrustables. What else did we have?
I don't even remember.
Multicolored
Pop-Tarts.
goldfish.
Multicolored goldfish.
Yeah,
And then the
Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts.
Cheez-Its,
Cheez-Its.
Oh, yeah.
a
Yeah.
whole bunch of granola bars.
Blue Gatorade.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blue Gatorade.
Eating healthy.
Yeah.
Eating healthy. But you guys are out there burning the calories, so we're okay with that. We're going to let that go. So overall, the week of Minios was good for both of you guys. I mean, obviously, Drew, you won a title. Ayden second in the pro sport class. That was one of the highest finishes that you had gotten to see in the last year. So that was a good lead out there as your final amateur race. And then now going to do some East Coast pro racing.
Oh yeah,
So took the week off after Minios and now jumping on the Supercross track with the Cowies, staying specifically in the 250 now. We basically parked to 450 at the moment and go jump on the 250 on Supercross. We've got Race Tech on board this year with 612, getting that Supercross suspension dialed in. Feels pretty good, looks pretty good. And working through that, we've got our race motors are being built as we speak. So the package is coming together here for Supercross, and we've got a good bit of time. I mean, obviously with racing East Coast instead of West Coast, you don't have the start that the West Coast boys do, but we've got a trip lined up here for A2. We get to go out, taking Drew and Ayden, Cole, and Carson. We're going to head out to Anaheim 2 Supercross, which is actually the first Triple Crown race of the year. It's also the first Supercross Futures race of the year. So, Drew, you're going to be able to get to watch how that format and the Supercross Futures go. And Ayden, that'll be the week before your first race, which is Houston, the first round of East Coast. But A2 is the week before that. So it'll give you a chance to kind of go see the pace and see the boys and see the track and stadiums. And you got a little chance to dabble in that last year with the Supercross Futures between Atlanta and Salt Lake City. But I think that'll be a fun trip for us to be able to fly out and see everybody out there in California and, kind of get our bearings a little bit on what's going on at the races and give you guys an opportunity to check all that out. But in the meantime, I want to tell the listeners, the people that don't know, Drew Adams and Ayden Shive, I'm going to start with you, Drew. What is a day in the life of Drew Adams? Like, let's just take one of your ride days, at the dog pound. So let's start first thing in the morning. I mean, what time do you typically wake up in the morning on a ride day?
Me and Aiden wake up at like the same time. We wake up 7 to 7:30, and then Aiden gets at the compound at around 8, and we play ping pong from 8 to 9, and then from 9 to 10 we go to the gym, cycle, and warm up, stretch, and then we get our gear on. We ride from 10 to 1, 10 to 1.
2:30.
Yeah, and then we get done. We go get lunch at either Chipotle or anywhere, and then come back. And if we have to work out that day, we work out. And then everybody leaves the compound and just sit there and be bored, pretty much.
Yeah. So that's a normal day in the life for Drew.
Yes.
Now, what about an off day? So let's say it's not a non-ride day. I'm assuming you've got like cardio days mixed in, or you've got rest days mixed in, whether it's on the weekend or during the week. I mean, do you have what's a typical, how many days a week are you riding right now?
Well, 4.
You ride 4 days during the week.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So on the 5th day during the week, is that like a cardio day or is that a rest day?
Yeah, I usually either do like a 30 to 45 minute run or an hour spin bike, and then Ayden might come out to the compound on the rest days, play some ping pong, maybe go get lunch again, and just mainly try and rest a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then weekends, is there cardios on the weekends, or is weekends pretty much rest?
So I do cardios on Saturdays sometime, but the weekend's just for having fun with the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously you're still racing too. You've been doing
racing, but after Minios. Well, I raced Orlando last weekend, the Orlando Christmas race, but now I'm off for a whole month of no racing.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty stoked about that to get some off time, but I feel like in a week or two I'm going to be itching to race again.
So do you have? Yeah, I know you said a month or so off, but what is the next race for Drew Adams?
I think.
Is it future stuff, or are you doing any?
I don't know what the order is, but I know I'm doing some of the
Florida Winter Ams,
and then. Obviously, try and do a future round, and then spring nationals, really.
Yeah. So the first one of that'll start at Daytona.
Yeah.
And then
it goes.
Leave from there, go to Freestone, and then Spring of Dayton. Yeah, they're like back to back to back, like three rounds in a row. Now, Ayden, with you, I know your schedule, but for the people listening that might not know your schedule, typical day of Ayden Shive. Let's use a ride day first.
Okay, so ride day. So you want me to start from the beginning?
Yeah, like what time? You set an alarm?
I set an alarm, but I usually wake up around 7 o'clock. I set my alarm clock around 7. Wake up, eat breakfast, get in the truck, go to the track. Right there, as soon as I pull in, Drew's right there. I see he's the first face I see every morning. Go play a couple rounds of ping pong, go warm up, ride, Pooh Bear's there, so Dukey's there. So the boys are there. We are starting to ride and feel a lot more comfortable on a Supercross track, so it's feeling a lot more better. So after we ride, we usually hop in the ice bath, go get lunch with the boys, and then really that's it. And on the cardio days, just wake up, eat breakfast, and whatever cardio I have, I do.
Dukey, that sounds pretty factory to me.
They're getting there.
Yeah.
I don't think they eat and drink enough, but they're every day it gets better.
Yeah.
Every day it gets better.
Sounds like a
I'm-
pretty factory life to me, though. I mean, you listen
Oh,
to
yeah.
look at some of these guys that are out there, racing pro Supercross and making mains, doing it out of vans and doing their own mechanic work and washing their own bikes and changing their own filters. And we even had Joey Savacci on here talking about doing his own motor swaps and things like that. And these boys show up and play ping pong, ride their dirt scooters a little bit, go eat lunch with the boys. It's all about the boys.
Yep.
Make sure they got their time with the boys.
Quite the crew they hang out with.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty factory life for you boys, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I get every once in a while, whenever it's time, I gotta fill my gas can up for the bike. So that's
So he
every
runs.
morning. I have to put 93 pump in there.
Until you meet Duke at the gas station.
Yeah,
and-
I met Duke at the gas station one day. I was pulling up to get gas for my bike, and he was filling up Bradford's, and he was like, just give me your can, I'll fill it up. I said, no, I got it. And he said, no. I said, Duke, come on, I have it. And he's like, no, I have it. I said, all right. So Duke actually paid for one of my gas. So appreciate it, Duke.
Factory life, man.
Factory life.
Factory life.
That's the only way I know how to treat these guys. They
Yeah.
got it made. They got it made.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see how that goes this year, man. We got a lot of new pieces to the puzzle. So even with Ayden right now running the Future MX, HBI Racing, Cowie, 250 on board with Fox this year. I know Drew, you just switched over to Fox. So basically all the boys under the Future MX tent, that we support in some fashion, some way, shape, or form, all running Fox gear. Ayden, Drew, Cole, all running Oakley. That's super grateful to have Aaron Kane and Oakley on board with them. But, these Cowies are a little bit different there, Ayden. I mean, you ran KTM and even the Husky for, 3, 4, 5 years before?
Yeah, basically almost since 2019.
Yeah, I mean, even Super Minis, you were
actually,
on
for
KTM.
about 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time you rode a Cowie was on 65s.
Yeah, so actually for a very long time.
Yeah.
So
It's been
just
a little while.
Swapping over to the Cowie just was a whole different ball game. And I used to ride the Cowies back in the days, and I used to love them. So switching to them wasn't like a new thing. It was just it felt like home, and it was just the chassis is way different, and I like it better.
Yeah, super comfortable. It looks comfortable, and you look good on it. So I want to bring up a question here. Something new for our podcast where we're gonna ask the guests some random stuff here. I want to go and see if any myself, Tyler, or Dukey can figure out one song that might be in the top 10 of each of your playlists. So if you look at either your Spotify's or your Apple Podcast or Apple Music, whatever it may be, let's see if we can guess one song. Tyler, what would you guess would be a song in the top 10 playlist for Drew Adams, 14 years old?
Well, I need a little bit more. Can we at least do genre?
No.
Taylor Swift. Ariana Grande.
Duke, you got any for him? I'm gonna go ahead and guess that there's probably some type of Migos in there.
Yeah.
No.
No?
No, I do not have a Migos song.
Drake. Drake's an easy one, right?
Drake is in there, but he's not one of my favorite songs.
All right.
Well,
How,
just
You guys are
going top
going the
10.
wrong way.
so how about a Morgan Wallen?
I have Morgan Wallen songs, but that's not really who I listen to.
You guys were talking about something in the orange. Who sings that?
Zach Bryan.
Is that you were talking about that? Is that something in the top 10?
Oh, that's the top one. That's number one.
That's your number one?
All day long.
That's-
That's
You
driving
just,
the
you just
track.
put it on repeat?
That's probably my number 2 song.
Who sings that again?
You guys
Zach
got
Bryan.
Zach Brown. Okay.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it. Well, I mean, I have heard the song before, but I didn't realize it was your
Never
favorite.
even heard of him.
He's
I thought he was talking about like Luke Bryan or Zach Brown or something. I'm like,
That's
man,
who I
you have
thought
no
it
idea
was,
who you're
Zach
talking
Brown.
about. And he was like, no, it's Zach Bryan. I'm like, what?
You chicken fried?
Oh,
A
yeah.
little bit of chicken fried.
Nah, Zach Bryan's he's my number one right now.
So who's your
Drew.
number one, Drew?
Number one, Drew.
If we can't guess it, then who is it?
Biggie Smalls.
Biggie.
Juicy 2007 remaster.
Juicy.
Really?
It is.
We
That's
I know,
a good
I know
one, though.
every single word to that song.
and who's number 2?
Zach Bryan.
Okay,
Something.
your playlist is like when you're listening to your music on just any music. So we just go from
Yeah.
Biggie to Zach
Yeah.
Bryan. We're just
Some
all
emotional
over the
country
place.
song to straight gangster
And,
rap.
there's- and funny enough, there's nothing like wrong with that. It's kind of how it goes, right? If you're multicultural or multi genre in your music love, go for it, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think mine's all over the place. You know, I've got old school country music on there because I listen to it when I'm with my dad or something like that. And then I've got new school country because I listen to it with my kids and they want, modern stuff like Morgan Wallen or Luke Bryan or whatever. And then I get the moments where I'm by myself and I'm in a rock out mode and I just crank it in the car and rock out. I know Ayden was talking about too.
Yeah.
What was it when we were at Minio's? You were talking about like before a race.
Yeah, just
what would you say, Papa Roach?
Papa Roach, Nirvana,
Yeah.
like all those rock.
When you're shadow boxing, it's Papa Roach.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm talking about. I was no one was really watching me, but in the semi, whenever I was getting ready to go, just my AirPods in, just straight Papa Roach, Nirvana, dude. I was just going at it. Like I was getting pumped.
He said he was.
But I
He
did
was like,
catch,
"I'm glad nobody was around because I was going to punch somebody."
Just
I
I'm
did catch
so amped
RJ
up.
though. Back a couple months ago, he was in his Tesla and we were going somewhere, and I opened the door, and he had a Taylor Swift song going on.
It's my
but then he
favorite.
hurried up and changed it. It was like, oh, my wife, freaking.
oh
My
yeah.
wife, my wife
Who
drove
left
the car
this on
first.
here? Yeah.
No, sometimes you got to have those emotional rides.
I
You
don't
know?
even have a playlist. I don't know how to even download a playlist. I just listen to Pandora and
He listens to the radio.
Yeah. He
I
still
do
has
listen-
vinyl
I listen to the
disc.
radio every day.
He has vinyl disc and CDs going.
Drew, number 3. If you had to go, number 3, we're going Luke Bryan or whoever that was. the
No,
second
that was number 2, Zach Bryan.
Zach Bryan. Biggie number 1. Zach Bryan. Number 3.
3.
Your 2022 top 3.
Yeah, if you have it on, do you listen to Spotify?
Apple Music.
Oh, Apple Music. Because I was going to say, Spotify at the end of the year, they send you your top, whatever, 10 or 20 most played songs of the year. And I know, like, Ayden, he keeps ragging on me, but what he doesn't want to talk about is, like, his as Adele on there and,
Yeah.
things
do.
like real sappy.
Beyonce, Broken Hearted Girl.
Drew,
Broken.
3.
I'm not gonna lie. Ayden introduced me to this song in the gym one morning. "Hate It or Love It" by 50 Cent.
Oh yeah, 50 Cent. There's a good one right there.
When did that come out? Is that like
Long
2003?
time ago.
Long.
Yeah, before he was even born.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude's over here listening to remastered Juicy from 2007. He was born in 08.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Ever
Aiden,
seen the video?
No, not really.
our music videos, they're not. Kids don't watch music videos anymore, do they? Or they're on
They do.
YouTube, I guess, right?
I don't.
I mean, it's just a whole bunch of girls.
Aiden, number 3.
Juice World.
What is that?
Juice World.
Really?
Yeah, I've never
Two
heard of it.
squirrels?
No, Juice World. He's my top 3. He's been my favorite for a while.
Two squirrels.
Well, two squirrels fits you guys perfect. That's why you said that the other day, and I told you that.
Juice World.
Two squirrels.
Who sings that?
Wait, which song
Juice
from
World.
Juice WRLD?
That's his name.
Oh,
song?
that's the band.
A lot
Or
of
the
songs.
artist.
You just like Juice WRLD?
Juice WRLD. Yeah, he died. He actually had an overdose back in 2020.
He was flying to Hawaii and they tried to put a bunch of drugs in his bag and he did it all right there.
He overdosed,
wow.
but
That's
he
not good.
was one of my favorite for a while. Well, around my age and a whole bunch of kids around my age.
Two squirrels.
Okay, so
Juice
we have
WRLD.
no idea where these kids are going with their
Yeah,
music.
no,
selection.
we can't even map this out. Let's move on here. Let's go to the next segment or the next question that I wanted to ask here. During the week, when you guys are riding, training, doing your cardio, whatever, what is a typical menu? I know you guys talk about going to eat with the boys and you talk about breakfast in the morning. What's a typical menu for the 14-year-old Drew Adams and the 18-year-old Ayden Shive? So I'm going to hit you, Drew, first. I mean, what is a typical breakfast?
Breakfast? I either cook myself a breakfast burrito with eggs and bacon, or my mom cooks sausage and waffles.
Okay. All right. So there's breakfast for Drew. Ayden, what's a breakfast for you in the morning?
I have to have eggs,
Yeah.
number one, or a bagel
Do you pretty much do eggs every day?
every day. I've been eating eggs probably for ever since 2019.
Okay.
How many?
Probably 2.
Yeah.
Just enough to fill me out. I'm not really a big breakfast guy, but I have to eat
Yeah.
or else during the day when I'm riding, I feel very low energy. So
Eggs are good. Eggs are
eggs,
good. Good, clean
sausage,
protein.
or a bagel. So
Get some carbs,
yeah,
some protein.
good.
That's good. All right. So now, Drew, I'm gonna hit it back over to you. What's a normal lunch? I know you guys talk about going to eat with the boys. I know what you eat if you're at home. It's definitely gonna be a peanut butter and jelly, grape specifically. But when you go to eat with the boys, give me the top 3 locations you guys go to eat.
Chipotle, Hibachi Express by the TJ Maxx,
Chick-fil-A.
and Chick-fil-A. But me personally, the hibachi is my favorite because fried rice is my favorite food ever.
Yep. Fried
Fried
rice
rice
is good.
is, I get every time we go to hibachi, I get steak, shrimp, double fried rice. That's every time.
You don't get shrimp.
Sometimes.
You get 3.
No, I did
literally
not
3
get 3. I did
scoops.
not
Aiden,
get 3.
Aiden,
like-
do you order for him?
No,
Yeah. He holds his hand while he's
trust me.
doing it.
I know because he's
No,
a
but,
very picky
like,
eater.
Everybody likes to go to Chick-fil-A that much. I don't really like Chick-fil-A that much.
I'm with you. I don't like it either.
Like, I used to love it a lot. I'd eat it a lot, but
You
kind of
burned-
just
burned
kinda-
out
yeah,
on
I'm
it.
burned out on Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Now I'm like Chipotle or hibachi every time we go.
Okay. All right. Ayden, what's a lunch for you?
Well, I usually eat 2 lunches because when I ride after my first moto, I have to eat. So really, just a sandwich or chicken wrap.
Yep.
And then we go to lunch with the boys. If we go to Chick-fil-A, I get a number 4, it's a spicy chicken sandwich. We go to Chipotle, I get a burrito, steak and rice, and queso. Go to Hibachi, noodles, rice,
By the TJ
and
Maxx.
shrimp. I like TJ Maxx, yeah.
And then what's a normal dinner for you guys? What's a normal dinner for you, Drew? You guys do you
Me and my
cook a lot
mom-
at the house?
Yeah, my mom cooks. We go to Taco Tuesday a lot.
At Del Carmen's, are you talking about?
Ponchos.
Oh,
You know,
Oh,
Ponchos,
man.
the little
love
shack.
love ponchos.
And then
That's my
mom
go-to.
cooks-
If Shane was here, he'd be so mad right now.
My mom cooks pork chops. Hey, I love pork chop. That's good.
Yeah.
And then
You put grape jelly on your pork chop?
no.
Isn't
Try
that a
it.
thing?
You need to
And
try
then
it.
after
Yeah. it
after
is.
race
That is a
week-
thing.
after race weekends, me and Aiden usually go to Hooters.
Yeah, we actually talked about that. Dukey and I
Yeah,
talked about
yeah.
that on the episode that Dukey was on before. You guys were so hot to trot to get out of there. You didn't even help us pack up the semi. You guys, man, we're out of here. We're going to Hooters.
It's just Hooters like the best thing like on earth. Like after mini O's.
You getting chicken wings or what?
Yeah, that's the reason
Yeah.
why it's so
Okay.
great, of course.
No, it is. Literally, I don't care if there was
That and the cold beer.
if the girls were covered
Pitchers of beer.
Hooters. For
A
sure.
couple straws in it.
So that's the cheat meal then is
Yeah.
Hooters.
Hooters.
When you get done at a race week, a national like that, then you get the opportunity. Then the number one go-to is going to be the Hooters.
Hooters all day long.
Did you guys hit the one in Gainesville?
Yep.
That one had to be pretty good.
Yeah, it was all right.
It's hard to get to.
Yeah, it is.
The waiters weren't that good.
The waitress.
Waitress, my bad. Oh, there was a waiter for Drew because he wanted a waiter, but
We need to make a road trip to Lakeland.
That's
To the
where
Hooters.
that's where me and Aiden usually go for Hooters.
Yeah.
Lakeland.
Okay. Lakeland is not close.
Well, for them at the compound, it's easy because it's
Oh, down 98 or
straight-
whatever.
yeah,
straight down
35
98.
It's 30 minutes. from
RJ, what else you got? You got any other questions?
Well, I had those. Those were kind of some of my little segment pieces there.
I'm curious to know future guests how we'll be able to how they'll stack up, how we'll be able to compare and contrast with our upcoming
Young
Am-
Guns.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could tell you we've got another episode coming up here in the near future. It's going to be the next episode we do. We're going to kind of do it on a different schedule than we typically do, and we're going to have a a very good friend of the show and a factory KTM rider will be on the episode. And I can tell you that his top 5 playlist is going to sound a lot different than that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. So that top 5 playlist there. And then the food choices, I'm not sure about. I think I think you guys do pretty good on food. But at the same time, we were, at the beginning, we were really strict and stringent on what we were eating, what was going in the body and stuff like that. But then at the same time, after being around the people that we've been around, and it's fortunate, enough to have the people in your corner that you do. But one of the comments that we talked about was even Johnny O and talking about Jet and the whole donut thing. And of course, people are like, oh my, this is a professional athlete here, championship level professional athlete, and he's up here, eating donuts on the podium or whatever. And it's like, look at how many calories these guys are burning every day. I mean, when you're at a younger age and you can get away with doing things like that, that's perfectly fine. Now, I mean, obviously for me, it's a lot different, for Dukey being born in 1832, it's hard for him, to be able to get away with, the donuts and everything like that. So we keep Dukey on a pretty strict diet, but outside of pizza and pizza rolls and bagel bites,
White powder donut.
Well, like you say, like we burn a lot of calories. Like that's just us riding and working out, but
that doesn't include the ping
we
pong.
do a lot more than just riding and working out. Like the other day, we probably rode around on the pit bikes and tasted low quad for 2 hours, and then the day after it rained, we went and were wrestling each
in the
other
mud.
in the mud.
I noticed that. I was thinking that the first thing that came to my mind is, okay, here we go. Someone's going to break their arm.
We were just
in the mud, wrestling around, horsing off, and your whole season's out the window because
That's
you're.
what all factory riders do.
Yeah,
Play in the mud.
of course.
Wrestle around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, but like we burn more calories than you think. I feel like because we're always doing something. There's never like a dull moment when all the boys are hanging out.
No, I get that completely, and I think that's why we still don't want to see the boys go out and eat just terrible, like pizza and cheeseburgers and grease every day. But at the same time,
Hibachi.
yeah, double fried rice. I mean,
Triple fried rice.
yeah.
No way.
Double,
But at the
Triple.
Double.
same time, though, like you do understand that these, they're young, their metabolism is working great, they're active as can be. I mean, there's not a minute out of their day that goes by that they're just sitting around doing nothing. I mean, they're both very active in what they do, and as long as they're burning those calories and things are going well, I mean, but and Aiden and I've had this conversation many a times. We go out to eat together, frequently, and I mean, he's not getting the worst thing on the menu. I mean, he's typically doing pretty good about eating well, and at the same time, they do have the opportunity to burn some of those calories up. But on a different note, transitioning gears here, Mr. Dave Dukey, looking at the boys here for 2 weeks on the Supercross track, your transition personally, even going from being with the KTMs for almost 6 years,
Yeah.
and then now over to the Cowies. I mean, just seeing what they're doing and their program daily, and then even working on these bikes. I know you and Pooh are kind of leading the ship there at the dog pound for the boys as far as getting the bikes going and keeping things running. What's so funny?
Nothing. Nothing.
What are you laughing about?
Yeah, I guess he doesn't think I'm leading the ship.
No, Drew, I don't know why he's laughing for it.
Because Aiden was laughing first.
I'm in the guy in the back with the paddle.
No, Drew's the man. I mean, Dukey's the man.
Yeah, Drew's the man.
Yeah.
Drew is the man.
No, Dukey's the man.
No,
Clip that.
I'm very impressed with our two riders and
Drusif?
Drew. The way they handle it well. I was very surprised. Kawasaki's are fairly easy to work on. Like I pulled the motor the other day. I've never done one before, and it probably took me 45 minutes. I think I can probably do a motor change in a lot less than that. And now that I know what to take apart, what have you, these guys are working hard. They eat good. I think they need to eat more in between.
Yeah.
I was always taught 3 solid meals a day, snacks in between.
Yeah.
Sandwiches, bars.
I will give it to Doogie though. He's always the first mechanic to get there and the last mechanic to leave. And he comes on the days that no other mechanics come on.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
He's
Yep, and
definitely working hard right now.
All right, Drew.
There's always
No
something
more
to
of
do.
that.
There's always something to do.
Raising his value right here. Can't be having that.
He's observing.
No, he is, and I see it too. We have a great crew around us. You know, I mean, when you look at, we say it on multiple different episodes, and I definitely don't want it to be a woe is me story, about Future MX. But like I said at Minios, I mean, I believe that we were running probably the lowest budget and the lowest skeleton crew when you looked around all the different semis that were there. But when you have good people in your corner, like, Dave Dukey and Pooh Sipes and, the people that are in our corner have a pretty strong resume, and we know what needs to get done, and we all put the effort in to do it, and there's a lot of people that help and volunteer through this whole thing. I mean, just like we mentioned a little bit ago, Shane's been with us on almost every episode that we've done this, and all of none of us are getting a dollar for doing this at the moment. Obviously we hope that would change and transition in the future, but there's a lot of effort from a lot of different people, that are doing this between myself and Shane and Heath Dorr and Brian, my partner in crime in the team, and even Matt Bell. I mean, we're putting a lot of effort out into doing all this stuff. And when you look at the people that you have in your corner, I feel like we have a pretty solid lineup and a pretty strong group. And being at the dog pound doesn't hurt. When you got the people in your corner there, and I know Drew and Ayden. I mean, some of the other riders that are there right now, between some of the people that you already mentioned, Chance and Jet and Hunter, and having them be able to pull off to the side and kind of talk to you about line choice and
Benny.
yeah, Benny Bloss. I mean, having those guys available to be able to kind of pick their brain and hey, what are you doing here? Or what are you doing different? And get to watch them. I mean, obviously you've got multi-time champion there with Jet, and the skill level that they bring to the table. And I remember the day that we were out there riding around the track, and I think it was the day, Ayden, that you went down in the whoops in the first one, but even Dazzy, Jet and Hunter's dad, Dazzy pulled you to the side, and you guys got to look at some film, and he was working with you on stuff like that. I mean, how many people have the opportunity to do that? You know, I
no,
mean,
it's
Hunter helps you.
it's very cool. Like all the boys, Jet, Hunter, Chance, Dazzy, anybody there, they're like very, very helpful to anyone. Like me, Drew, Bradford. Like
Absolutely. No, there's
we
good
any
crew.
question we want to ask, they're there. Like Hunter, they do it. Like they want to help us. And Dazzy's a very good person to ask questions, and because he's been there for a long time. And even Pooh Sipes, my mechanic, and Burner, like everyone's there. Like they've been in this game for a long time, and just even though Michael Byrne is a little older, like he can hop on a bike and it's like that. You know what I mean? Like dude, what? Like I'm over here trying to learn how to hit the whoops. He hops on my bike and hits him like it's nothing. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God. You know what I mean? So it's awesome being around all those guys, and they love to help us, and it's cool.
a lot of knowledge there in
Oh,
your
yeah.
corner. I mean, you look at what Dazzy has created there with his two boys and the success that they've had, and then obviously the success that Burner had in his own career, being on factory teams and, being at the pinnacle of the sport, there for a while. And that's just really cool to have, that a lot of people don't have. And I hope you guys, are able to absorb that and take that in and be a sponge, ask questions when questions are needed, and, don't think that you know it all. And, I'm Drew Adams. I'm the biggest whipper in town. And, you're able to keep some of that knowledge and let that retain, and that stuff gets to come through you at one of the greatest facilities in the country.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Drew, question for you. So, born in 2008, to the rest of us, that was like yesterday.
Yeah.
But,
I was already graduated high school, was it?
yeah. Riders that you looked up to growing up.
RV. Ryan Villapoto was my favorite dirt bike rider. And so before I switched to Fox, I was on campus for a while, and I got to know Ryan really well. I went out and stayed at his house for a full week doing testing with Cowie, suspension and stuff. And, yeah, I would say RV was probably the guy I looked up to the most. He was just a fellow redhead always. I thought he was the fastest guy ever. And, yeah, it's cool to be friends with him now.
Man, that is a perfect segue to my next question,
Goosebumps.
which was he was the one of the top amateur riders. Has he given any advice to you at your age, for how to treat the scenario that you're in, or any insight into where you're at now and how to continue on with your success?
He gave me a lot of pointers when I was out in California for that 1 week testing. I was testing with him and all the guys from PC and Ryan Holiday, and yeah. So I mean, he did a lot for me, and I'm very thankful for what he did for the whole time I was on canvas, and yeah, we're still good buddies, and yeah, he gave me a lot of advice.
Like even off the track stuff, like staying focused, not getting burned out, anything like that.
Yeah, like the first. Well, it's crazy because the first week I was out there, or the first day, sorry, put a crazy plate of food on my right in front of me. I, it was like some weird looking pasta and a salad, and I do not like salad. Trust me, I hate salad, and I had to eat. I'd eat every bite of it. It was gnarly for me. I've never done that. So yeah, he and
It
obviously
was
his
so
wife.
gnarly. I had to eat salad.
Yeah, it was. But obviously his wife Christian, she's really healthy. Ryan told me that before he met Christian, he was just eating bad all the time, and she really helped him. So yeah,
So now you understand that stuff matters.
yeah, but
I mean, was there like
yeah,
was there some lesson with the salad, or was he just torturing you with this salad?
just torturing me with it, man.
That's awesome.
Good.
Well, one thing that I do want to ask both of you: goals, immediate goals, like goals within the next year, and then long-term goals. So I want to start with the immediate goals. And Drew, I'm going to go with you first here. What is the immediate goals for you within the 2023 season?
Uh, I just wanna get, because obviously at Minios the motos were 20 minutes, I believe, and just some of my competitors are a little bigger than me, and so I just need to get stronger, and then I just want to do really good my last little bit in the B class, and hopefully uh come out swinging, coming for the A class.
Okay, so 2023, Drew Adams is going to be 14 until March. So when you go into the Spring Nationals, you'll be 14 in B.
Yeah.
You're going to do some of the Supercross Futures. You'll turn 15 in March and finish out B at Loretta's, right?
That's what I'm trying to do. Yes.
Okay. And then after Loretta's will be the transition to A. So you'll be 15 going into A at Minios.
Yes.
Does that sound about right?
Mm-hmm.
And then run the A final year. So you'll turn 16 in 2024 running A through Loretta's.
Yes.
And then the goals go pro.
Well, actually, I might run Minios that year, most likely.
Okay.
I'll probably do Minios that year and then go pro after that.
Okay. So you're talking about potential go pro at 16.
Yes.
Good.
What do you think about the amateur riders, like Ryder D and Deegan, who there were some others too who ride some pro events and then come back to the amateur events? Do you think that there's a value in that, or?
Well, I actually never really understood how all that worked. Like, I thought that after Deegan raced Ironman, I thought he was just full pro.
Yeah.
But
Especially after getting a top 10.
yeah, I don't understand how that works really. But
Well, I think you're allowed to do up to 3 outdoors as an amateur. And if you score less than a certain amount of points, and I don't know what that number is, I think it might be 25. But if you score less than X amount of points and you do 3 or less races, then that's allowed. So I think that's what they did. I'm not positive on the rules, so don't hold me to it. Nobody, call me and yell at
I
me
think
and
you're close.
throw a fire at it. But I think it's something like that. So I mean, he was fully eligible to go, race Minios, and I think he's actually going to be doing Supercross Futures.
yeah, I think so.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to bounce over to Ayden here. Same question. Goals, the immediate goals. So I'm talking about this upcoming season. So for you, you're going to be doing the 2023 East Coast Lights Pro Supercross Series. What would your goals be?
Hold on, they're not called lights anymore.
They're not?
Are they called lights anymore? I thought it was a 250 class.
Yeah, I think it's just 250 class.
I think
But
it is too.
Whatever.
I'm going to tell you, remember when they came out with calling the 250s the lights class? I still refer to them as lights. Whoever came up with that, while it was hated at the time, was a genius.
Yeah.
Because if you call it the 250 class, old people like us are going to be like, well, no.
Right. You're thinking 252 stroke, you know, and you're thinking you're
Exactly.
going to be out there with Jeremy
And
McGrath.
you referring it to lights just made me think, as much as I don't know about everybody else, but I was like, who calls it the lights class?
I
Like,
do.
It was genius.
Yeah.
It's the perfect name for it. Anyway, go ahead.
So goals, and I know this is hard, and I even asked Cole about this. It's hard because you haven't raced one yet, and you haven't been on the line to stack up and see. So I mean, goals right now are probably hard to determine, especially until you get through the first couple rounds. But in your mind, what would your expectations be?
Well, my goals right now is to keep on getting better on the track and feel more comfortable, and to the point where me and Pooh can hammer out motos, like a real good solid motos throughout the whole day, and just get better. And whenever racing comes, just I want to be over there. I want to get there, feel good, and just make the night shows, and hopefully end up around the main event. That's my goal right now. Is just to I want to qualify like everyone. I want to go. I want to go to the main events, but it's my first time, so my head won't. I won't be as mad if I don't, but I really just want to ride comfortable and ride like I know, like ride like how I know how to ride, and just make the night shows and just have fun.
Yeah.
Hey, currently, where we're currently at, I say where you're currently at, how are you running 20 lap 20 lap motos or
Not
no?
yet.
Not yet.
On the outdoor track, yeah.
No,
but
the Supercross track.
no. The other day we did, because right now we're still just trying to learn and get a little bit better technique before we start doing more motos. But no, eventually we will.
So what are you doing right now? Are you just working on sections? Are you running only a lap or two?
More like 5
A
laps.
little bit of both. I mean, the other day we did 10, 12 lap moto, and I think it was like a 10 lapper, which it don't seem as much, but it was the first moto that we did so
I
far.
mean, it doesn't. It sounds like a lot.
It's whenever you're out there, it's definitely a lot.
So what have you noticed about lap after lap after lap? Is there a concentration factor to maintain the rhythm? What have you noticed that you didn't think you might have noticed from running? Basically half of a main event, or more than half on a 15 lapper, right?
Yeah. So really, just if lap after lap, you have to stay 100% focused. Like if you get caught lacking just a bit, it will bite you. Like,
Yeah.
It's a lot different, especially to the on outdoor track. Like you can definitely have a lot more mistakes and be all right. But if you're out there trying to like mess around and like you hit a 3.53 and you clip that 5, it's gonna be bad. Like just your head has to be on a totally different mind.
And
Where are you hitting a 3.53?
3 foot, 5 foot,
Yeah.
3 foot.
Oh, okay.
Not.
I thought you were talking about like a triple, quadruple, triple.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No one saw it, but I hit a 3.5, a big old.
Well, I guess it
quad.
wouldn't even be a quadruple because a quad would only be 4. So
quintuple.
quintuple.
But no, like if you slack off just a bit, it can definitely bite you.
How do you feel fitness wise at the end of a 10, 12 lap main event right now? I mean, it's got to be so tense, so intense, so much different than
It's
motor.
definitely different. It's just I don't think my cardio is bad. I think I have.
No, I wouldn't
pretty
say
good
you're like
cardio.
out of shape, but
It's just your heart rate.
yeah.
Since I'm new to it, if I make a mistake, I'm like, oh, like my heart rate spikes up, and I'm to the point where I'm starting to learn how to control my mistakes and just,
Breathing.
and breathing. That's the biggest thing. Like,
Yeah.
I can go out there and ride 3 laps, and then Pooh can breathe on the pit board. I'm like,
Okay.
oh gosh, like
Oh
I
yeah,
wasn't
supposed to do that.
Yeah, I'm supposed to breathe, and just like,
Forgot,
the other
forgot
day-
about that part.
like the other day,
They don't.
we were doing a moto, and I felt good throughout the whole moto. I had 2 more laps to go. I fell over in the corner, and I kind of took a little while to get back up. and it took me a while to get going. But then Pooh made me do 50 push-ups because when I fell, it took me a while to get back up.
Yeah, imagine if that was in a race. You got to get up and go.
But it was kind of hard because I was almost done with the moto, and I was like to the point where I was like pushing,
Yeah.
and I fell, and then my heart rate spiked up, and I'm like tired, and then I'm kind of mad, and then just a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, I was going to ask you.
That's why they did the 50 push-ups, to bring you back to reality.
Yeah.
To not make those mistakes, and
Yeah.
because you're held accountable for your mistakes. So
Well, you said it took a minute to get back going. Was it? Is there any?
Because he was
aspect-
gassed.
Is there any aspect to the rhythm that takes a minute to get back going?
No,
or
it's
can you
just
get back
because
right into it?
I fell in a big old right turn, and my heart rate was just so high.
Yeah.
And just when you fall, it just like for some reason
The heat catches up
it
with
just
you. Everything.
it all hits you at once, and then I just got to learn. I learned to get back up and go at it.
Well, I think what Pooh was trying to teach in that scenario, and the reason why Pooh was like, "Hey, you got to get up and get going," is you gotta emulate practice to race, right? So if you're at a race, you don't have the time to wallow around on the ground like a fish. Like you need to get up and get going as quickly as possible because that time is positions. It's time on the track. And I mean, imagine, he just mentioned his goals. Imagine if you're in a heat race and you're in a transfer position and you lay around and it takes you time to get going again. Well, that's a difference between transitioning to a main and not. So when you're at the practice track, you are trying to simulate what it is at the racetrack. I mean, you're riding with other guys on the track, you're keeping pace with them, and you're doing your lap times, you're hitting your marks, and you're going through the moto, and even on a 10 or a 12 lapper, I mean, that's not far off of what the lights class is. I think they're only 15 minutes plus one.
Mhm.
So, for that scenario, Pooh is trying to educate and teach. Like, you got to get up and go. I mean, you got to go now. You don't have time. And something Dukey and I were talking about, I think it was last night or night before last when we went to dinner, was trying to use these practices to teach that you go out there and you hit every lap and you go hard, just like in time qualifying. You don't wait around and roll a couple laps and get your heart rate back down and then go try and put in your burner lap, because your burner lap might be screwed up by a yellow flag or a rider down or somebody gets in your rut and in your way. I mean, you got to go out there and go, and you got to go every lap because you never know what lap is going to be your best.
in my opinion, when you're a new guy on the block, when you go out to do your time qualifying, you treat it as a moto. You go as hard as you can the whole time. That's showing that you're in shape, first of all, that you can sprint, because it's what it is. It's a 6 or 8 minute sprint, 10-minute sprint. You have to go. You can't pull off the track and cruise around, wait for everybody to go by, and then think you're going to get a heater in, because you ain't. You can't take that chance.
Too many
So,
variables.
every practice you have to treat just like a moto, and each time you get better, or your first one was your sound one and put you into the night show, cool, I made the night show. Now when you run your heat, same way, you're back to another moto, go to the LCQ, you gotta go. You can't wait around for everybody else. Who cares about everybody else? Go. You gotta have your head on straight and go. I don't know how else to put it,
Well, and I think that's what they're trying to teach them too. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't,
absolutely it is.
obviously Pooh's
Absolutely.
been there. Pooh's raced. I mean, he's top 10.
Yep.
Professional level races before. I mean, Pooh knows what he's doing. I mean, obviously, between himself and his brother, I mean, those guys have been their way around a Supercross track a time or two. And I think the whole reasoning behind his thing there was, you got to get up and go. You can't just wait around. So it's learning all the way through. I mean, learning the whole process here of getting on Supercross and how the races are going to go and building that up. I mean, at the same time, you guys have only been on the Supercross track for 2 weeks, so it's only going to get better and improve from here. But we made some comments at the very first Supercross day that I told him is, I mean, last thing you want to do is go out here and not be prepared and do something that you shouldn't be doing yet. You're not quite prepared for it. I mean, you can't go out and really justify yourself against a Jet and a Hunter who have ridden Supercross now for years and have pounded out laps on those tracks for a long time, where we were training on motocross, getting ready for minios, And now we transition to Supercross, and Ayden wants to go out there on day one and be Jets pace, and it's like, wait a second here. Let's reel him back in a little bit and understand that you could throw away your entire season by rushing into this and not being patient, and getting those foundations and fundamentals in early matters. So that's
6 days. That's it. That's all we've rode.
Yeah. So the other day, Friday, me, Drew, and Bradford and Dazzy was actually talking about this. You were there too, about how
Yep.
Dazzy tracks Jets laps. So he did over 7,000 laps so far with practice and racing.
Yep.
And I probably only did a solid 120 probably
Yeah.
throughout last year and this year so far.
yeah.
It's just laps and laps, and that's what Dazzy was just talking about. Just getting more comfortable,
Yeah, he
more
said-
seat time.
Speed will come.
He said that ever since Jet started training for the Monster Cup that he did, ever since then, every practice lap is added up to 750,000 laps. Or 7,500 laps, sorry.
Okay.
Hunter's just around there too.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they track all their lap times, and that's a lot of laps. You know what I mean? And just for us, like, we officially been on the Supercross track 7 days so far, and we're learning already. It's just seat time, more time on the track.
And
more
everybody
comfortable
says
we
that
feel.
all the time, man. Seat time and pounding out laps. I mean, that's one of the best things out there to do it, but doing it the right way.
Yeah.
And I mean, understanding where you're at in your role right now and getting to that point that you're going to evolve to. I mean, that will all come. I mean, Drew, how much before Minios did you ever have any time on a Supercross track?
Yeah, I rode Supercross a little bit back at Moto X. I would like after we do a full day of moto, I'd go out and do a few laps on the Supercross track just to keep the feel of the flow and stuff, and not lose contact with the Supercross track.
But this is probably, I mean, for the past couple weeks, you've been essentially Supercross only, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't even ridden outdoor track.
Yeah, the last time, I guess Minios would have been other than the Orlando race I did.
Yeah. I mean, you enjoying it?
Yeah, me personally, I like Supercross better. I think it's more fun and just flowy. But I mean, like outdoors, you got to do it, and outdoors is more hard work. I feel like, but Supercross gets you mentally.
Yeah.
Like I could probably do a 30-minute moto on the outdoor track easier than I can do 7 laps on a Supercross track.
Yeah. Because of the heart rate, the
Yes.
timing.
Because especially on the top track, you do the finish line, you take a left, and then it's a long set of whoops,
About what?
and you take a right,
12 whoops.
you take another,
12, 13 whoops right there.
yeah, it's like 13, 14 whoops. And you take a 90, go straight, take another 90, another set of whoops. Like
So there's no rest.
just those 2 sets of whoops probably gets your heart rate up to like 200.
The only rest you can really get there is on the big triple and the finish line, because everywhere else, you're like, your mind's thinking just like you're just like it's
Do
crazy.
you catch yourself taking a deep breath over those?
Yeah, over the triple really. I mean, I'm
Is it
starting
kinda like
to
one
get
of
a
the-
lot better now.
One of those things like mentally, like,
Yeah.
okay, when I hit this, breathe.
Yep.
That's good though. I mean, you got to. I mean, the outdoor track, you got a little bit more opportunity to breathe.
I actually,
Right.
when I first got on big bikes, it doesn't matter what track I was on, I never breathed. And my dad would ride it on the bar pad, breathe.
Yeah.
Every moto. I'm pretty sure it was the regionals. I had to do that every moto because I wasn't breathing.
Yeah. A lot of people don't understand that, getting the blood flow and getting the oxygen into your veins, to help with even like arm pump and cramping and keeping your mind frame right. Breathing is critical to doing all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyler, when you're racing FTRs, you got to breathe.
I mean, I'm always breathing, man. I'm relaxing and I'm just hanging out. But I'm not hitting the whoop section in 4th gear either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm
well,
going about 1/16 of the speed.
I feel like on outdoors, it's like you get more physically tired and like arm pump. That's what's on outdoors. But like Supercross is just your heart rate kills you. Your heart
Nonstop.
rate, and then just mentally you're tired.
Yeah, you got to be
How
thinking
it is.
3 corners ahead.
Yeah.
You got to know where you're going.
Well, and committing to those sections. You know, I mean, we
Yeah.
were looking even
That's a big thing.
even on the bottom track, you know, where there's that left-hander, then the 3-3,
Yeah.
or you know, if you screw it up, you have to double, double, double.
Dude,
But
I've
you have to
cased that
commit.
so many times.
You have to commit to that
Yeah.
before you even get to that turn. I mean, because you're setting yourself up beforehand to even make that.
Yeah, well, that section that you're talking about, you have to. I set up for that section a whole section early.
Yeah.
Like there's a 3-3 before that.
Yeah.
And then you take a left and do a 3-5-3.
Yeah.
And for me to hit that 3-3 that we're talking about smooth every time, I have to go single double, and they go outside single or double single. And every time I do that, I mess up the turn and just can't do it. But
you have to
yes.
commit to that thing.
yeah,
Oh, everything's fully committed. If you go,
especially
all
on the
right,
top track.
if you go, I'm gonna hit this big old 3 in, and last second tense up and be like, all right, I'm still going for it. You're done because
Yeah.
That's what happened to Drew. He made a mistake on the first 3 before the finish line
Yeah.
on the bottom track.
Yep.
And then
Case.
he cased it. Then he cased it, and the next 3 he was like, all right, I'm still going for it. But he was already like this, and he jumps it and frames it.
Yeah.
You have to be thinking.
Yeah, because you lost all your drive when you cased it, you know, because your rear wheel was up and not on the ground.
You got to be 100% dedicated to all these rhythms.
Well, I mean, that's one of the crazy things about Supercross, man, is the commitment to it. You know, like you when you talk about mentally demanding, you have to be so dialed in with your bike, the track, and knowing, okay, I have to go and I'm going to have to commit, and this is the only way I'm going to make it. And you do it.
I mean, essentially, it's a game of inches on
It
a
is.
Supercross track.
Absolutely, it is. I mean, wheel spin and traction and conditions. I mean, all of that stuff matters. And I know the saying that everybody says, you know, everybody has to ride the same track, but you do have to have all the elements in your corner to make sure that you can do what you need to do. I mean,
It's
because
a big mind game.
yeah, no
You
doubt.
gotta have it together.
Yeah,
It's just it's confidence. I mean, at Loretta's, I know we've been practicing a lot throughout like June and all that. I mean, I went into Loretta's with all right mindset, but it wasn't where it needed to be, and that's where I kind of failed at. And after Loretta's, switching to Cowie, my mindset changed to the point where I was tired of doing bad. And then at Loretta's, I'm just nervous and scared. I know I was sick, but still, I was still like nervous to a point, like not knowing my confidence and where I needed to be. But at Mini O's, it was a different ball game. Like my mindset was on a different. Like I didn't care who you were beside me. If you wanted to fight, let's fight. Like I was ready to go. Like I was on that line, pumped up, ready to go. Like I was
That's good.
getting goosebumps.
That's a
I
good
was-
thing.
Oh my God.
well, you know the saying that I use all the time. I use it specifically to my wife when she's asking me when I'm buying new gear or something like that, and it's look good, feel good, ride good. I say that all the time. And if you don't feel good, if you don't look good, then you're not going to ride good. And when you get those new vibes, you know, switching from KTM to Cowie, transition from, you know, the previous gear over to Fox, and being able to go through those transitions, you look good, you feel good, you ride good. And I feel like that showed at Minio specifically, you know, for Ayden in his scenario. I mean, not many people knew the situation about Minios of being sick and, you know,
Loretta's.
oh yeah, excuse me, Loretta's, and not being able to, you know, we don't know if it was the flu, if it was COVID. We have no idea. But what we do know is, you know, throwing up all night long, running a fever, completely drained physically and mentally. You know, not the best results at Loretta's. I mean, definitely could have done better. But then you get, you know, that vibe and that feel and that energy, and I mean that matters.
Next
you know?
thing you know, you're pulling stars from the outside, right?
Yeah, no one knows. Like, I mean, whenever I do bad, I don't really show it that much, but inside, like, dude, after Loretta's and taking a little bit of time off, like, I was just like, oh my God. At nighttime in my bed, I'm just like kind of like upset to the point where I'm like, dude, I want to come back and show them that I can ride good and be who I am. And it's just like all those nights, like, bro, like you have to want it deep down inside.
Yeah, and you got to wait a long time between August and
Oh yeah,
November
like
to
it's
get your
just
redemption.
it's a mind game. Like I came into Minios with training with Pooh for the last month on a 450 with riding with no clutch, and we started like every single day, every week was just better and better. But the funny thing is, whenever I was doing the Gold Cups with Drew and all the boys, I would end up crashing probably 3 to 4 times on moto.
Yeah, I remember RJ talking about how much he
Just-
loved when
I'm
you
just
crashed.
like, oh, I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't know what's the problem. And then even the last day we rode before Minios, I crashed 3 times during the moto. Right? I'm like, all right, great,
Here we go.
great. But we go to Minios. I crashed 1 time out of 12 motos, and
Yeah.
that's a big improvement.
That was a lot of riding.
I'm like, dude, I crashed 1 time, and it was a kind of an accident. You know what I mean?
Was that when you sent it into the woods?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was trying to hit a
Send it
low
into the
line.
trees.
But crashing 1 time out of 12 motos
Tree hugger.
is definitely a big improvement to me.
Yeah.
Especially crashing 4 times at a local race, trying to hold them off, crashing 4 times, stuff like that. But
It's the people you've surrounded yourself with, all the help you're getting, good bikes, good coaching, good training, and your mind is at ease.
Good ping pong.
Good ping pong.
just
Absolutely.
it's a mind game. You just gotta be
gotta have
be
your mind
confident.
straight.
Like Bogle always told me, like, dude, you are one of the fastest kids. You are. You just gotta find it inside of you. I'm like, yeah. But then I'm like, it is like it's the truth. Like you really just gotta find your right mindset, and
How
it'll
many
show.
kids? How many kids have a bad? You go out and you do. We go out and ride 15 minutes of Supercross.
Yeah.
And you're getting ready to go back out again. You're a little sketchy, maybe feeling. All of a sudden, Hunter Lawrence comes up and he tells you, "Hey, I seen you hit this
Yeah.
section. Hit it like this." How many kids get that? Your confidence should just
Yeah.
be overwhelmed. But that's what RJ is doing for you, or future MX. They've surrounded you with good people. You're only as good as the people you surround yourself with.
Yep. And that's the thing. Everyone, all the boys at the compound, beside like outside of motocross, they're all good people. We're all surrounding by good people who want to, like do good in life.
They want to see you do
Everyone, they want to see me. Me and Jet had a very deep
wanna see-
conversation the other day, just me and him, and it was just like talking about my career. He was like talking about how much he wants to see me succeed, and stuff like that. And it's just everyone at the dog pound, just like the whole team.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah. No, it's a good place. That's one reason why I elected to stay where I'm at.
Yeah,
I could go and work for this guy or that guy, and I've had other things. I like where I'm at. It's a new adventure, and we're making some. I see something in the future.
yeah,
We got some good riders. We got good management. I enjoy working with Pooh. I like being around this guy over here because he's a redhead. I've already explained that to his family.
It's gonna
I
make
like
me get emotional.
RJ, let me get you a hanky, brother.
He's gonna get me
It's
emotional.
no, it's really it's a great atmosphere to be around.
Yeah.
And there's no reason why anybody should be down. I mean, I can go ask some guy that I don't hardly even know if hey, do you got any zip ties?
yeah.
Sure, hell yeah. Give me some.
Yeah, that's what's awesome about the dog pound is people helping people.
Everybody gets along there.
Drew, have you gotten inside that mind frame? Do you have to deal with that stuff at all, or is it for you just twist the throttle and send it every time?
Sideways too.
Yeah, whipper tails.
Well, I mean, like, I get the butterflies a lot during the races, like the nervous stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, I just usually try and say if I win a moto before the next moto, I'm gonna try and do the same thing that I did before that moto and during the moto, the next moto.
yeah.
Like that's just
Try and replicate it.
yeah.
Yep.
The biggest thing is too, I'm a little bit older than Drew, and Drew, he's 14 years old, but he's definitely one of the cockiest 14-year-olds I ever met. So for the past month,
Very
past
positive
couple months-
reinforcement here, folks.
the past couple months, me, Jet, I don't know, like all of us been working on that. I'm always telling Drew, bro, be humble. Trust me, just be humble. at
You got time
videos,
to be humble.
Hey,
Come
is
on
it
now.
just-
is that one of your top 5 songs? Stay humble.
Be humble, Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, is it Be Humble?
No, I don't know that song, but trust me,
Never heard it.
I'm humble at the races. It's just during training. It's just
to a
like,
point, but like
talking,
where I'm
talking
getting,
shit with the boys is like the thing. That's
exactly.
what we do, and it makes us better. It definitely makes us all better.
Yeah. Well, having confidence is a good thing, but there's a difference between confidence and cocky.
Yeah.
You know, but having confidence is a very strong thing. Being confident in your abilities, confident in your program, confident in your riding ability. That is a very big key. And mentally, you know, I think that's something that you do have, you know, because you are confident in yourself. I think the cockiness is just you ragging on the boys.
Yeah.
yeah, but at the races, like there's a couple of comments he will say, and I'm like, you know, you better watch what you say because karma is a thing. And like he got a bad start one moto and finished 6th, and he was all down. I'm like, Drew, just relax. You're on Team Green for a reason. You are one of the fastest kids I know. You're here for a reason. I was hyping him up, and the next thing you know, he goes out. He gets the whole shot and wins.
So that was all you.
So basically, all me.
All
I'm
you.
gonna say that I'm with Drew on this. There's a lot of, call it whatever it could be. Either they're superstitious or they're changing their mentality in order to not upset the karma or whatever. And yeah, just I think if you're gonna cast all that aside and not worry about it, just send it.
Well, I want to lead into that though because you just brought up one of my next segments here. My next questions.
all right. Let's hear it.
Superstitions.
Oh,
Is
I mean,
there any?
riders are so bad at that.
They are.
I'm
and I have
very,
heard some
very bad.
stories about some previous factory level guys that do some very weird things to their bikes, to themselves, throughout, you know, seasons or whether it's right, you know, before a race or whatever it may be. I mean, I probably shouldn't get into any details of them because that would probably explain who it was. So I'm not going to go that route. But Drew, is there any superstition for you specifically? Like, I've got to wear, you know, this sock or I have to wear these gloves. I mean, do you have anything like that?
I mean, not. I used to when I was on little bikes. One time, actually little bikes, really. One time I crashed in this set of gear. Racing one of the arena crosses. I never wore it again. I threw it away.
Yeah.
It was an unlucky gear.
Yeah.
And I actually I had that with I do that with my helmet sometimes if I get knocked down in a helmet. I try
that's
not to
smart.
wear it.
Yeah.
But I did that with the helmet I broke my back in. I never wore that helmet again.
I probably wouldn't.
Where'd you get hurt at again?
Monster Mountain.
That's where it was. I think I saw that somewhere. Yeah.
Hey, do you have any superstitions?
Oh God, here
dude,
we
I'm
go.
One of the biggest ones. Like,
Yeah.
I
he's
try not
terrible.
to show it, but definitely like
First off, he's a germaphobe.
Yes.
to a point. But
Yeah. Like nobody can touch anything that he's going to eat or drink.
Well, that's just okay.
well, I mean, like whenever like someone says a smart comment about like, oh, have you ever crashed before and this ever happened to you? I'm like, no, and I'm just always like I knock on wood probably 4 times or 4 to 5 times a day, and just if like for the past couple of years, whenever a big national comes up, I'll get like some fresh new pairs of gear. I won't really wear them at the races. Like I'm like, nah, I have to wear my old stuff, even though like I have holes in my stuff. At Loretta's in 2020 on the 125s, I had gloves that were at a hole this big around, and I wore them all week. I had brand new sets of gloves. You know, I just like, no, I have to wear this for some reason. Because I'm always in my head, I'm like, all right, what if, even at Minios, I was like, dude, I don't want to wear these gloves. And they roll on me, and I get pumped up. So I'm like, oh, man, what gloves? Should I wear the medium or the large?
I know one thing now. I drop my helmet in the dirt before I wear it.
Yeah.
That's
As soon as I pull it out, drop it.
Yeah.
Actually-
Aiden does that too.
I actually dropped the brand new fresh Fox helmet on accident.
Don't drop the helmet.
It
please.
rolled down, I rolled down the hill. I'm like, nice. Right after a moto,
I
too.
think you're supposed to drop. You're supposed to tap.
Yeah, I'll drop it like this, but then
I drop it. I hold it up, drop it.
Oh, Ethan Lane, if you're watching this, I was very shocked. He was like, "Yeah, you're supposed to drop your helmet." I said, "Yeah, you're supposed to drop it, a couple inches off the ground on grass." He grabs a fresh new helmet, drops it about this high on rocks. I'm like, "Oh my god, on rocks,
On the
dude."
rocks?
Yeah.
No, you don't do it on the rocks. It has to be clay.
Yeah, dirt.
Clay or sand.
I do it on the format at the
I
compound.
will say though, it's the gloves thing gets me every time.
It's the gloves thing and the fender.
So what's the gloves now? It can't be too big, or they got to be ratty.
He won't wear new gloves. Like he has to wear gloves that are wore out, holes in them. I just don't get it. And that and the fender, telling me that the front fender got worn out. Pooh and I go round and round about these fenders, front fenders.
What's Pooh say?
Who's like,
You shouldn't even be looking at the front fender.
I said,
Exactly.
but when
Yeah, you should
What
be
are you
looking.
doing even
way,
looking at it? You're supposed to
Front
look down the
fender.
track.
should be looking way out ahead of it.
I could
and
see
he was
Pooh taking it off.
he was like, "No, man, this fender's worn out." I'm like, "How is a front fender worn out?" It's like it's just worn out.
crashing
It's
too many times, it bends.
it's
Yeah,
flopping more than normal. I'm like, "What?"
Now you're looking
I
at
can
the wrong
I can
thing.
tell
then.
when the front fender bends.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be
Throws
looking
me
at
off.
it.
Well, like
It's just-
as soon
it's
as
the
you get
com-
on
it's
as
the-
soon as you get on the bike, the bars are straight, but the fender's leaning out. So
I'm like, it's a comfort thing, and I've been like that my whole life.
So now we order pallets of front fenders.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get your own injection molding machine
Yeah.
to make your own. I'm with Drew. The more superstition, the more of this mental baggage that you can rid yourself of, the more you can focus on riding.
Yeah,
Don't be like them guys who
Yeah.
I always think of Ricky with his orange gear, right? He just no matter what, he's riding orange gear all the time. Or back then,
Yeah. No, I get it and I understand it, but I feel like, when you really get deep down into it, like none of the results would have changed by any of the superstitions that they had or had.
it's just mental baggage.
It's tons of mental baggage. And that to me is one of those things where it's like, man, you've got to get that out of your head. And, obviously I'm not in their shoes. I'm not riding on a supercross track at their speed and their level. And I fully get that. But man, I've heard some crazy stories about things that people have done, before. And I'm like, what, why would you do that? But, everybody's different. I think you kind of get to that point where it's one of those things where, okay, let's go racing.
it's the thing though. At the compound, if I have a front fender that's crooked, it's all right. I can ride with it to a point. But at the races, for some reason, I can't. Like, it has to be done. Like,
If I don't have a fresh front fender,
yes,
Yeah.
fresh.
I'm just
But
lost.
if it's like a new type of fresh from like overseas, no,
can it be OEM or does it have to
just
be?
a regular.
Well,
stock one.
he does have a sponsorship with a Chirby, so it's going to be either an OEM or it's just going to be in a Chirby's. It's going to be
Okay.
one or the other.
All right, well then it's not up for negotiation.
Just if it's a regular one. I don't really know on fenders, but if it's regular and it's straight, yeah.
Okay, you don't really know fenders, okay, but that's okay. Yeah,
I ride dirt bike. I go fast.
yeah. What is the most expensive most extensive bike work that you're going to be doing on your race bike,
Race bike or practice bike?
practice bike? Excuse me.
Practice bike.
Don't touch the race bike.
Filter.
You're talking about the work that like he's physically going to do, or the biggest changes to the bike.
He's capable of
Oh,
doing.
all right. I
you
can.
can't do no damn.
Yeah. I can look. I can do a filter. I can wash the bike
He
good.
can't even wash a tire.
No, they don't have no confidence in me. But I tell you what. Though. If you give me a 2-stroke, a 125 newer model,
What?
I can do a new top end for you, and even a crank
Okay.
right now. But it would take
forgot
me a
you
couple
were
hours. But
KTM.
I can do it.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, I can.
I believe you.
On the 125s. I had to change. We had to change the new top end probably every 10 hours.
We or Donnie?
Me and my uncle Donnie.
No.
But no, I was there.
Donnie changed.
No. But I was right there,
Watching it.
literally
notes.
his shadow.
Yeah.
And every
Holding the
tool,
flashlight.
everything
Yeah.
for a lot of years. And I know how to work on a 2-stroke, but on a 4-stroke,
We're not sure. Okay.
I can do the simple stuff.
Tighten the
I can do
chain.
filter. I can do
Can you change the front fender?
change the front fender,
Tighten the chain.
tighten the chain. Yeah,
Okay. Change sprockets.
yeah. But if I want to live, but No, I can do it. I'm just my superstition.
Probably better if somebody else does it if I want to live.
Because really, all my years, my uncle Donnie didn't really let me work on my bike because he was very anal about stuff. So
nice.
But I mean,
Drew, how much maintenance and mechanical work do you do on yours?
Not much. Like, usually sometimes when I want to go out and ride, my dad's not there, so I'll, like, check the tire pressure and put fuel in it, chain lube it. But, no, I don't do much bike work. Not really.
Yeah.
the other day, you don't know this, Drew, but when your bike was out there in your boots and we were getting ready to go back out, I put chain lube, a scraper, air pump, and a whole bunch of stuff inside your boots. Remember? You don't remember that? I put them inside your boots.
My dad probably took it all out.
Oh, your dad probably took them out. I put everything inside your boots for you to grab them out. But I guess Ronnie.
So, are we allowed to talk about the cat story at Minio's?
Oh,
Drew?
yeah, for all the people that are listening to this, my cat pissed in my brand new pair of Fox boots, and I didn't know it for 2 weeks. And I had wore that pair of boots one day, and I had another moto that day, and I was walking around. The cat piss got all over my socks, and I was walking around in the Future Mex rig with wet cat piss socks on. That's why it stunk.
And
in
your
there so
boots
bad.
smelled.
And the
Dude,
boots
they were
smelled.
terrible.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure what
Terrible.
happened for 2
I mean,
days.
I thought, maybe one of them had gone to the bathroom in their pants and just didn't want to say anything to anybody. Like,
I thought a cat had gotten in the semi, like when they were.
Yeah, you could smell it was cat.
oh, it was
Well,
terrible.
We got it fixed now.
I got in trouble by
Yep, it's
RJ's
fixed.
wife. She was like, "You gotta take that helmet out of here." I'm like, "Why?" She said, "It stinks." Like it's.
It was my boots.
I'm like, "I want to
Blaming the helmet.
And it's over Drew's boots right there.
Yeah,
That literally
right by the
smelled like-
right by the vent of the AC unit in the semi, and just
The whole
blowing.
semi just reeked.
So we bring the cat to Minio's?
No, it peed in the boots that he only broke in one day at the compound, and then it peed in the boots, and then they brought
And then he
those
took 'em
brand new
Minios.
boots
Okay.
to Minios,
Okay.
and then he took the boots off in the semi, so the boot smell just lingered, and then he had it like embedded in his socks because he had worn them in that moto at Minios. So he's walking through the semi with these cat piss socks, walking up and down the hallway and
Every
up in the rider lounge of the semi, and I'm
The
like,
boot
man,
was sitting by the vent.
it reeks in here.
And because it's in the boots, every subsequent day you put your boots on, it like reinvigorates the smell.
Well, we figured it out that night. Your mom
Yeah, we got
figured
it
it
cleaned
out.
up. Put vinegar in there, scrubbed it, washed it 4 times.
We were like, no
I mean,
way.
every time I went into the thing,
What is wrong with this place?
What's
Yeah.
wrong with this thing? It smells like cat piss.
Well, moving on here, we did talk on the last episode. We talk about the social media reach. We talk about the growth that we've seen on all of our social media channels. We use it on our professional tools, our professional dashboard. We use it for the last 30 days. So the last 30 days is what we kind of segment and go over on every episode. And last week we talked about that we were inching up, and we were getting close to 1 million on our reach for a 28-day window. And I will say that we are very, very close. We are just shy of 1 million as of today. So our following between all the different social media platforms. So anybody listening, if you have an Instagram, a Facebook, a TikTok, a YouTube channel, Twitter, whatever it may be, you can find us on any social media platforms. But we use the professional dashboard. We put all those followers into one, whether you subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, whatever it may be. And then our reach is basically the views, the people that listen to the show. And, it all kind of, what is that? Cumulative goes into the professional dashboard. We are at 972,000. 972,000. We are just shy of 1 million in the last 28 days.
Now that we have these guys on the show,
gonna
it should
say it's
take
gonna
us over the
blow up.
top.
It's going to blow up.
Yeah.
It will.
Absolutely. And we are just shy. We're only a couple hundred away of 10,000 on our followers, which is great for only starting a lot of this stuff about 2 weeks before videos happen. So to see the growth and the people supporting, I greatly appreciate you guys. The biggest thing that I could ask for anybody is to please share it. When you share us on Instagram or you see a reel or you see something on TikTok, YouTube, whatever it may be, is, to go online and share it, and
Don't know how.
we'll teach you. We'll teach you,
Thank you.
Duke.
Thank you.
But getting that stuff out there and spreading it across all the different platforms, letting people know. We had a nice slow-mo in the whoops of old Drew Adams that I'll claim the photo cred on that one that you didn't even tag me in. Little jerk. Little
Forgot to.
jerk. Didn't even tag me in the photo cred of that. But we did some Supercross clips. We're going to try and get out to, Sandbox and see our little mini assassin, Carson Wood, and get out there and try and get some clips of him. And obviously, you boys that are on Supercross every day, I don't get to go out there, every day like you guys do, but we got eyes and ears everywhere on the ground out there between Dukey and Pooh, and getting to come back and report to what we're doing. But I haven't been out there since that first day that we were able to do Supercross, so I'm going to try over this holiday season, take a little time away from my real job and get out there and shoot some photos and do a little photo shoot, some videos, and get some content to the boys. And then make sure we get Carson included in that stuff too, because gotta keep up on our mini assassin and how well he's doing. And Carson's gonna fly out with us too to Anaheim too, Carson and Chris, and go out there. And we got some tours lined up at Fox and Oakley and Kawasaki and Pro Circuit, just to go meet those people and kind of put a face to the name and make relationships and build all that up. But I do want to take a second here real quick and say a huge thank you to No Toil. We talked about them at the beginning of the episode, founded in 1998 in Northern California. Ryan Jensen and the staff out at No Toil, a huge thank you to them, sending us the products that keep us racing every day with, such a easy system, a great formula and an easy product to deal with the pre-oiled filters. We can make a quick change and move on. We keep them in stock inside the semi, and they've got, all those different products we talked about, the environmentally safe stuff and the biodegradable and, air filter oil, air filter cleaner, chain lube. They got the Superflow air filter system, like we mentioned at the beginning of the show, removes the screen inside the cage to give you a better throttle response and increased horsepower. But at the same time, a huge thank you to HBI Tax, HBI Racing, Mr. Matt Bell, everything that they do for us. I can't thank them enough for coming on board with our program. And like we always mention on every episode, we're still constantly looking for sponsors, trying to get more people on board to make this dream come true for everybody and these riders, and move forward with what we're doing here. But, like we said at the, beginning of this and even throughout the episode, I think we've got a great team of people that are involved right now. We're all working very hard and putting in a lot of what I call sweat equity. I know everybody's overworked and underpaid, but the sweat equity that goes involved in what we're doing is, definitely adamant for, the whole program and the whole team. So, Mr. Tyler, anything else? Any other closing words? Anything you think of?
Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. Mr. Drew Adams, the number 300 Team Green Kawasaki. Any closing words there? Anybody you want to thank for helping you throughout your program here?
I'd like to give a huge thank to Future Mex team, RJ Huss, for helping me out ever since I got to Dade City and make me feel really welcome in Florida. And thank you for having me on this podcast.
Yeah,
That's
man.
very nice. That's a nice young
Cool.
man right there.
Yeah.
Sweet little redhead.
You're
Isn't he?
welcome.
Sweet little redhead. How about mom and dad? Maybe a thank you to them. Maybe a thank you to Team Green, Monster Energy Kawasaki.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for helping me ever since I was born. And Monster Energy, Team Green, Kawasaki, Pro Circuit, Ryan Holiday, all those guys out there in California.
We're gonna go see
What
him.
about your Uber?
Uber driver Ayden Shive.
Jet Lawrence.
You're walking home, buddy.
Ayden, anybody in your program you want to thank? I mean, obviously you've had some people that's helped you for a long time, growing up. You've already mentioned a couple of them on the previous episode, but I mean, go through your people that have gotten you to the point that you're in.
He's like, nah, nobody I could think of.
I really just, my Uncle Donnie for all those years that we rode and had all those fun times, and then especially you, RJ, with all this Future MX stuff. It's an awesome opportunity that you're giving me, and I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And this podcast and this Future MX is gonna blow up within a couple of years, and it's gonna be a big thing. And I'm proudly glad to be a part of it. So
Yeah, no
appreciate
doubt,
it, RJ.
man. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we got a lot of people in our corner that help try and make this thing go and make it roll. And, like I mentioned before, I mean, we're not trying to be a sales pitch on any episode or any podcast, but anybody that wants to get involved and help the opportunities of these boys and continue their path of their dream and their journey, please reach out to us and let us know. But to all the people that do help us so far, between the Step Up MX, obviously running the Fox gear right now, it looks great. You guys both running the Fox gear, and it was pretty cool at Minios when you guys both were able to wear the same set of gear. I mean, that looked really sharp, and that's one thing that we want to try and pride ourselves on, is making sure that our pit presence is very professional and having our guys in the same gear, same goggle, both running the Fox gear and Oakley goggle. And, a huge thank you to Aaron Kane with Oakley and everything that Oakley does for us. But, Step Up MX for making the graphics work great. 612 suspension with Race Tech coming on there for Ayden and Cole this year, and what they've got building, going for us. And obviously Get Data. Dan Truman's been a huge asset to us even this week, helping map out and program ECUs and Athena USA with all the different products they've had. We've talked about them on multiple episodes before. So anybody that's looking for these products, we want you to go shop these guys because they help us. And that's our job. Our job is to be a sales pitch and a representative of their companies. And we talked about that heavily on the last episode with Scott Meshy and Cole Bradford and Matt Bell. And that's one of the biggest things to try and make these riders understand is, we are a salesman for the companies that support us. And when we have the opportunity to go out there and pitch a product, whether it's through, our podcast, our YouTube channel, our social media accounts, that's what we're here to do. So any way that we can drive business for those people, we greatly appreciate that. And all the people that have been a part of our program for a while. And then obviously Mr. Dave Dukey, come down and started helping us at Minios. And then we set the hook. We
Got him.
We baited and set the hook, and now he's here and he's with us, and we greatly appreciate you, Mr. Dave Dukey. Any final comments there, Dave?
Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. John Wood.
Words of wisdom.
Yep.
Words of wisdom. Mr. Tyler Kosh, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. We got another one coming up here in the very near future. We've got some heavy hitters coming on that one also. So we look forward to that episode. But other than that, we greatly appreciate everybody for listening to the episode. Make sure you do the normal. Listen, like, and subscribe. We need those subscribers and those likes. That helps the team and it helps us with our sponsors. So we greatly appreciate everybody that does those things. Any closing comments?
Hit it, RJ.
Hit it.